Welcome to FFC Top 3, a show where we, your FFC hosts, count things down from 3 to number 1. Thank you for joining us this week. As always, if you have a suggestion for Top 3, which I do love suggestions, just saying, hint, please send me suggestions. So I'm starting to run out of ideas, guys. Just start sending them, no matter how crazy they are or how weird they are. If you want to know what kind of socks we like to wear, just send something in, because otherwise you're going to get topics like that, and it's going to be real weird. Just saying. But you can drop those notes and suggestions on Twitter, in Discord, or at gmail.com with the Focus Fire chat as the preface. So this week, and I am rambling like usual, this week we're going to talk about our top 3 voice actors, which I actually kind of really enjoyed this one because I do a lot of audio listening of just any sort, whether it's podcast or audio books. And that was where my wife and I like to turn on things. We don't necessarily watch a lot of things, but we have things on in the background that are generally voice acted in some way, shape, or form. So Blue and I are going to go through our top 3 voice actor lists. And Blue, I'm going to let you start it off per usual. Who is your number 3?
So I'm just going to preface this one where I have a lot of names. So I have the top 3, but then actually it was really hard for me to to categorize them in top, like into the ranking, because I kind of appreciate all of them the same. Like everyone's kind of the same. But as far as me, my number 3 is actually Jen Taylor for her work with Cortana, because Halo, Halo has been a really, really big part of my gaming. Not just gaming, but like the storytelling in Halo for that particular character was just really well done. And she's always been kind of one of the figures that, when it comes to especially the AI piece, I've always kind of held people up to her performance because she does such an amazing job with infusing emotive communication into it, which is I think that's a really hard thing to do, and she has grown. Definitely, you can, like, if you listen to Halo, Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 5, her development and her projection and way to go, or way to present herself via the voice is just, to me, it's just grown, and it's just amazing listening to that development.
Whoa. Wait a second. She plays Salem and Ruby?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't know that.
She also
she is scary in that one.
Yeah, well, she's actually in Destiny too. She's the
I knew that one.
sweeper bot who you stole the broom from.
Right.
That's her.
I remember that, but I didn't realize she was in Ruby. That one, that's just such a big name to be a part of that. It just shows how much that franchise has grown.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, wait until I start talking. Well, wait until I get to another part of the list. Yeah, some of the people that are actually voice actors are really surprising, and I mean, like, once you like think about it, it's not hugely surprising, but like, there's a few names that are like, wait, they were in something that was, so yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I feel like I'm just going to start out with somebody in many respects doesn't have as much weight, because most of the lines that I am familiar with this particular voice actor are in a PvP based game, and it is Crispin Freeman, who plays, which the reason why he's one of my favorites is not only just because of the voice in general, but watching him do the voice of Winston, the gorilla from Overwatch, is one of the most amazing things. Like, he takes on the physicality of a very just smiley big ape, and he's a tiny blonde guy. Like, he's kind of adorable as far as like a little person. Now, he's not a little person as in like a below.
That's like looking at the guy who does what's the dude with the shield? The giant
Reinhardt?
guy.
Oh,
Reinhardt.
yeah.
Have you ever seen him?
He's good too.
Like, he's an amazing voice actor, but it's the same thing. He's not like a big guy. And
no, he's very small.
And the cool thing is when they can, like, they can like snap into it in and out, because he can, and he has there was a clip of him doing it on the floor of I think it was E3, it might have been PAX, but like he was in the corner, he was just like in a corner randomly, and someone was talking to him, and he just snaps in and out of it, and it's like, wait, what? Like
that's one of, like, if you watch any of the Overwatch videos of like voice actors, and that's actually something I used to search for on YouTube on fairly regular basis, because they all go to the different PAXs and do panels and stuff together, because all those voice actors are just kind of at this point really big names. He's always walking around with the cosplayers, basically doing voiceovers for them as they're walking down the hallway.
That's awesome.
And so you have these guys in giant suits who can barely fit through doors because they're Reinhardt, with this tiny guy following them, just doing the voice of Reinhardt. It's amazing. Oh yeah. I can't pronounce it, but I know which character that is. Kodamine?
Kiri Kodamine.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a really good one. He's also just really funny too. He does a lot of the fun stuff when it comes to the voice actors. What's your number 2 though?
My number 2 is gonna be not a surprise to anybody, but it's actually Morla. Morla is, and that's mostly, I'll be honest, it's mostly because of like actually knowing her. It's just like, she's actually, to be honest, she's actually the one that really opened my eyes to just how awesome voice actors can be. Like not just like I've always appreciated the voice actors, but like talking with her and getting to know her, and like actually seeing like kind of behind the scenes and talking to her about all the crazy stuff that actually goes on, is just like, it's opened my eyes to even more of that world. So yeah, she's my number 2.
She was fascinating to talk with at Guardian Con this year.
Yeah, she's in I'm assuming you probably know. She's the narrator, I think, and I think she's the narrator.
Well, she's one of the characters in
the Westworld VR thing that's coming out, which was a huge thing that I think she said she's been waiting almost a year to actually be able to talk about it.
But yeah, Morla is, the amazing thing is when you hear Morla speak, like normal Morla sounds nothing like Eris. Like, she is very bubbly, guys. Like, she's not like annoying bubbly, but she's a very happy person. She's just a very bright and loving and happy person. And she sounds nothing like Eris. Eris is all deep and dark, and she's all up here. Like, she's like, ah. And it's like, okay.
Which, when you talk to her, we kind of talked to her about, we talked to her about that, like in our episode way back when we first met her. We actually talked about that, because like you can even tell the difference if you're just listening to like her on any of the podcasts that she's been on. Like, her natural voice is not very anything like almost none of the characters that she has played. Or
she plays very dynamic voices.
She is very, her voice is very dynamic. Yeah. And it's like, but that's what I mean. It's like talking to her about like how she does that is just, it's just like, it's fascinating listening to like all the stuff that goes into it, and because like she's the one who does the Omnigul scream. She is the reason that you have Hive sounds in Destiny, and like that part is like fascinating, which also makes it really cool that she's also the voice of Eris. I found that interesting.
How closely tied together.
Yeah, I found that kind of a fun little connection.
Even if it is somewhat accidental.
Yeah, it was and it wasn't interesting enough.
As far as her ability.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So my number 2 is somebody I started really listening to as far as voices, thanks to a certain online D&D game that has been going on for quite a while now. And I went through and watched one of those videos, because a lot of people have gone through and compiled the voice acting of blank, whoever it is. But Laura Bailey is Jester, who I absolutely adore. I think she is the most chaotic yet adorable character to have ever graced Critical Role. But she plays so many different types. She's also played like the smooth, lower sounds, the motherly tones, as well as a ton of anime. And just has a pretty decent range as far as her abilities to deliver different types of lines and different types of characters and what they embody themselves. And again, she's adorable. She's cute. She's also a new mother, so new-ish mother. She's been a mother for a few months now, but
she was also she was Lust in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yes.
She actually played Kid Trunks in Dragon Ball Z.
And I love her DBZ stuff.
Yeah, and the reason that I really like her is she plays Olympia Vale in Halo 5. And she's also in Hunt the Truth and in Halo 4 as Rivera. But the fun thing about Halo 5 is, so she plays Olympia Vale, who is on Osiris team. Travis, who is her husband, plays Fred, who's on Blue team. And I remember when they announced it, I tweeted at both of them, and I was like, so how much of a red versus blue situation is going on in the house? And both of them were like, yeah. So that was a interesting one.
Travis is good.
Travis is hilarious. Like, just watch outtakes of Travis Willingham. Like, he's so, the sweater is the best, like one of the best ones.
All right, what's your number one? We're gonna end this out with some pretty high notes, I'm imagining.
Yeah,
or
so
low notes depending on the gender.
Yeah, well, mine's pretty low notes. Steve Downs, John 117, Master Chief.
Yeah.
Like that's honestly, and the reason why is just because, again, Halo has such like a special part in my experience, like in gaming in general. Like Master Chief and Cortana are just, they are such a great pairing, both in the game world and also the two actors. Like they know how to play off each other's emotions, and like they do an amazing job. And like the reason, the best way to do that, the best way to explain how powerful of a couple, even though they're not really a couple, but how powerful of a pairing those two are, is in Halo 4, the ending. Like, I do not know many people who that did not rip the heart out of watching the ending of Halo 4. Like, it was a very difficult ending to watch. And it's because, it's because of the emotion that these voice actors have imbued in these characters. So, again, that's easily, for me, number one was easy. It was actually the other ones that I'm like, oh yeah, these guys and these guys and these guys.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and Black Flag is saying that, yeah, they usually play, I think he's talking about Laura and Travis. Yeah, they do make that a thing, yeah.
Playing as opposite roles. I don't know, like, Master Chief is a very iconic voice.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those. I actually don't know much of what else he has done, personally.
I'll be honest, I don't either, because I just know most of his work is, or most of the stuff that I know about him is through Halo. Yeah.
See, that's kind of how my number one is as well, is that I really only know him as far as a voice actor through one venue, but he's still my favorite voice actor. I actually go back and re-listen to these books on a fairly regular basis, and it is James Marsters from basically Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
He reads for the Dresden Files as far as Audible audiobooks, and does a really good job of not only the main character, but bringing to life all these other characters. And if you've never read the Dresden Files, I highly suggest them. They're easy reads. They're fun. They're in depth as far as bringing a fantasy world into kind of modern times, because you have aspects of wizards and fairies, vampires, all those different things that you love when it comes to like sci-fi and fantasy mixed into this modern day telling. And it's not like a retelling like fairy tales. It's you're following the life of a detective who is also a wizard, who really doesn't use his wisdom. He uses his wizard stuff to do his detective work, but doesn't really follow the rules of the Wizarding Council, and gets into all sorts of messes, including destroying an entire race.
His friend in the skull is top
Bob.
notch.
Bob is amazing.
Top notch.
Bob and Wicked would get along really well.
They would. Real quick, Steve Downs. So really the only other major game, and I use the word major kind of lightly, is back in 1999 he voiced the role of Gunner in a game called Septerra Core: Legacy of the Creator. That performance actually got the attention of Marty O'Donnell, and that's how he got involved with Master Chief. And every other game that he's been in has been Halo. He hasn't. Super Bomberman R, I guess, was the only other game that he's voiced. But he's been in Halo since 2001 or 2000, basically.
Do you have other voice actors Rans?
Oh yeah. Let me hang on. Let me grab my list real quick. All right. So
can we go every other one? You go one, I go one.
Yes. More than happy to do that. Okay. So first one is Keith David. He is the Arbiter in Halo. He has, like, especially in Halo 2 and Halo 3, his voice was probably one of the most iconic ones for that game in the fact that, like, it just matched Steve's voice so well, and like the depth and the timbre of it. He did a great job with it. So yeah, nice. He's one of my also rans.
Mark Hamill.
Yep.
Gotta love Joker. And yeah. Any character that he does, really. Joker's just so iconic. All right, your turn.
Kirsten Potter for Marasov.
Yeah. I like Kristen a lot. Matt Mercer.
Yeah.
For a variety of different roles.
He's actually in Destiny too.
He is the human male.
Yes, which is really funny. He got like 6 months of exposure for Destiny. Real quick chat. Mark Hamill played the Joker in Batman Arkham series, if I remember that correctly. That was one of his last times playing it. He was really, I think that was kind of a bittersweet thing for a lot of people, because he knew going into that recording I think he had come out and said that was going to be one of his last times doing it. Another one you already did Mark Hamill. Nolan North is another one who is like very prevalent throughout. You have Portal, which is he's hilarious. You have Destiny 2, which he actually does a really good job in Destiny 2, because I assume people know this, but he actually voiced Cade in Forsaken. Yes. He was the one who was voicing Cade for the Forsaken component in that cutscene. So he's got Nolan North has a very versatile voice as well. And yeah, North did Forge in Halo Wars as well.
My last one is Fred Tatasciore, who does the voice of Dad or Soldier 76, as well as a huge amount of different characters. Huge amount. He's quite prolific. He's in like Scooby-Doo, Invader Zim, DC Superhero Girls, American Dad, all the different things. Like, he's just very prolific.
Amazing.
He's even in Shazam.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's Sin.
Oh, that's nice. So the last ones is basically I've started listening to more and more podcasts as I kind of get more familiar with this weird landscape of audio performancing. The Parcast Network actually has a really good, robust group, and I feel terrible because I don't know most of their names. But if you look at the Parcast Network, the voice acting cast that they have is awesome. The other one that I really want to call out is Hunt the Truth. Their voice acting cast is just top notch. And this is the one that I kind of mentioned. You might kind of be surprised at some of these names. It's Keegan Michael Key is Ben Gerard. Kumail, I think it's Nanjiani, who's Mashak. That guy. Yeah. Holy, oh my gosh, just amazing. Kobe Smulders does Petra Janicek, which she does an amazing job with that one. I'm going to butcher this other name. Peter Serafinowicz does Black Box in season 2, and he does just spot on. He's another really good AI voice. And then Janina Gavinkar is Maya or Pharaoh. Why are there grenades under my bed? Best Meshach is like, I love that character in that. If you haven't listened to Hunt the Truth, just go listen to it. It is probably one of, if not the, well, no, it wouldn't be my favorite, but it is up in the top 3 of podcasts, like audio dramas. And it's not just because it's Halo. It's actually because it is so well done. Like it just hands down, it is a great thing. The entire cast did an amazing job. Mark Hamill's actually in it as well. Season 2, he's in it. There's a number of big names that actually show up in it. So yeah, yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So
there's so many good ones out.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I feel bad because it's like, Elder Scrolls has a ton of them, and they're all like hidden. They're very well hidden.
Yeah. My goodness. It's one of those things, like, it's like picking children.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
like, I know my favorite one, and then everyone else is kind of the same. Right? That's what you meant, right?
Sure. I'm going to tell Morla that she's not your favorite.
Oh my
and that
God.
She's just like everybody else.
She is my favorite human being, okay? Steve Downs we've been in a relationship longer.
Uh-huh. You're cheating on Morla. It's fine. I'll tell her. She'll be fine. She'll be fine. She'll be fine.
I'm like, okay,
let's
be fair. Let's be fair here. If the person that beats you in voice acting is the voice of Master Chief, how upset are we going to be?
I don't know. I'm not.
God bless it. Bad Blue. Yeah, Bad Blue. I'm just digging that hole deeper.
I'm gonna send her a link to this podcast.
I'm gonna edit things so bad.
Have fun with that. Thank you guys for joining us for top 3.
Why did the podcast drop from 25 minutes to 10?
Blue cut out everything of greens. Thank you guys for joining us for top 3. You guys are amazing. Thank you again for sending us your suggestions, because the suggestions are just so juicy and so good. We just can't stop just using them. So please continue to send suggestions. We will see you next week. And remember, everybody loves a list.